Well, the thing about Instant Family is that it's a real family. It's a real family story inspired by Sean Anders' life. He adopted 3 kids and wrote this story really as a response to his real life, trying to bring that to the screen. And then he told a great story about how he got the call from Mark that he loved the script and they wanted to go forward with it. And he said everything got on a fast track after that. And he was in the car with his kids when he took the call, so he pulled over and he took the call. And then he hung up and he said, "Great news, Mark Walhberg wants to do the movie I wrote about you and me and the family." And the kids were like, "Great. Who's Mark Walhberg?" I think one of the great things about this film is the fact that Sean Anders, the writer-director, is really living out his personal life on screen through Mark and through Rose. There's this really beautiful, simple, inspired story about 2 people who are in love, who, not quite spontaneously, but certainly not with a great deal of forethought, adopt 3 kids, and then what happens? And sure, there's a whole comic aspect to this that you can't avoid with a writer-director like Sean Anders and performers like Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne. You know, they're going to have some laughs, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But there's a lot of heart, and there's a lot of connection, family connection. You know, and as a parent, I have a son, and the feelings that it engenders in you as a parent to watch somebody fall into the joy of parenthood are really inspiring and surprisingly relevant, whether you're a parent of your own biological kids or someone who's adopted kids, or if you're single. You know, there's a kind of universality to the way that they're portraying it that I think people are going to really get. Well, one of the great things about working with Sean Anders on this picture is how his stability and his insight and the personal connection to the story pervades the whole set. And it sets a kind of confidence and a kind of authenticity that the actors pick up on subliminally. You just feel it. You feel his connection with Mark, the fact that they've worked together before. You feel the support he gives to Rose Byrne. Mark and Rose are this kind of perfect screen couple. And I don't mean that in a kind of like cliched, perfect way. They really are kind of perfect together. They have a great vibe together. They set this kind of confidence and ease with what they're doing. The rest of us pick up on it. And then everybody gets to kind of shine and has their moment. And it's really, you know, it's really, I can't say enough about making this movie. It's really been a lot of fun. If the film has a message, it's that all the hassles, all the complications, all the exhaustion, all the relentlessness of parenthood is worth it. Because what you get on the other end is this love that grows exponentially. And funnily enough, you know, it's not like you have all the love for one child and some reserved or not as intense for the other 2. The parental love really just grows exponentially. The more you give into it, the more love there is. And the more you trust that, the more it comes back to you. And yeah, sure, it's complicated as all get out, you know, and Mark and Rose go through their paces trying to find out what it's like to be a parent, especially of a teenage girl who's coming into her own sexuality, who's got access to a smartphone and all the problems that arise in that. And I can tell you as a parent, you really want, you know, you want to take an axe to the modem when you think about what can go on with a smartphone and your teenage kid. You're like, oh God, no, not that. You know, let me just ruin their connectivity for about 5 years and see if I can't get them out of here when they're 20, you know. And they really handle all those issues, you know, with a great deal of humor and pathos. You always have a kind of instinctual feel for the tone of a movie. And if you get that, then anything you do as an actor kind of comes from that one place. And the tone of this kind of movie is very specific. And you can see, and once again, you can see how it's coming from Sean Anders. He knows so much about this story. He's so far down the line. You know, and it has certain elements of like farce, certain elements of rom-com going on, certain elements of like family dynamic, family drama going on. Those are not easy mixes, but when you kind of get it all stirred up in the right pot, it comes out instant family. That was amazing. I hope you use that. I mean, it's like one of those instant oatmeal things, you know, where you open it up, you put it in the cup, you put in some water, comes out of the microwave a movie, instant family. You know, it's really interesting to watch Izzy, for instance. I mean, I think it was 16 or 17 when I got my Screen Actors Guild card. This was back in the 20th century, which you may not be familiar with. If there's anything you want to know about the Truman administration, I'd be happy to unpack that era for you as well. So I kind of know what it's like, actually, to be a teenager finding your way in. She's got real confidence. You know, she's stepping in as a professional actor. She's very relaxed, very charismatic, very clear about what works and doesn't work, and thoroughly as far down the road as Mark and Rose are with their characters. Great to watch. The little boy, Gustavo, same deal. You know, he's pretty much, it's like at lunch, he's like, Mike, what's your next project? What are you up to after this? I got a few things lined up. Who are you with? Who's your agent? Really? Listen, I've got a phone meeting with my online homeschool teacher I've got to get to. So I'll get back to you later after lunch. Great working with you, man. So he's got his own kind of like full-on pro. And then the little girl is like, everybody's in love with her. And she just, naturally, you want to kind of like be there for her and help her through what she has to get through. And she's such a goofball, you know, and it comes out perfectly on camera. And the three of them really do feel like a family. So it's been fun sort of watching that and finding my role with them, you know, just to provide a little bit of support, a little bit of somebody to lean on, you know, somebody that's been around for a while and had one or two experiences that, you know, I can bring to bear on the set, you know, and it all seems to mix up pretty good. Tig Notaro and Octavia Spencer, come on. That's going to be so awesome. I can't wait to see those scenes. I'm gonna pay the $8.50 because I live in the country. It's only $8.50 to go to the movies. I'm gonna pay the $8.50 to go see that. Yeah, the combination, that's really some of the deft casting in this movie. When you look at like Tig Notaro, Octavia Spencer, they're going to bring unique, individual and completely disparate personalities, and somehow it's all going to come together as one. Same thing with Margo Martindale and Julie Hagerty. I keep saying to Sean, you have got to find more scenes for Margo Martindale and Julie Hagerty. We have got to pitch Netflix for a cop show that stars Margo Martindale and Julie Hagerty. And I would be happy to sign on as the captain. Martindale, Hagerty, in my office. You know, like in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? And that's the cool thing about the pairings in this film, you know, it's genius. Well, I hope people realize that, you know, in the end, it's about the love. It's all about the love when you're a parent. You know, it chokes me up. It does. Chokes me up to be a parent. You know, I love my son so much. And when you see that in other people, when you see it in film, you know, and this film's going to have that quality, it knocks you out, man. Knocks you out.